Welcome to Style with Trish. My guest today is co-owner of Mark Squared Studios, Karlotta, Washington. Stay tuned, you do not want to miss this.
Every day a woman reigns. It's time to live your dreams. Nothing's gonna stop you now. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. Every day a woman reigns. Every day a woman reigns.
Thank you for joining us here on Style with Trish. Today, my very special guest is one out of the magnificent duo who head Mark Squared Studios, Karlotta, Washington.
Hey.
Hey, girl.
I'm here.
Yes, we've come a long way.
long way. Like we were saying, 12, 10, I don't know. Let's say a decade at this
Yes,
point.
yes. And it just doesn't seem like it's been that long that we have connected. You guys, first of all, let's start from the beginning. Mark Square Studio. I'm familiar with you, but not everyone is familiar with you. Tell us what Mark Square Studio provides, but also tell us how you came to the name Mark Square Studio.
So Mark Square Studios is a production company, and we really support storytellers. So it doesn't matter in a lot of different ways. So if you are a storyteller who needs a place to produce your project, so filmmakers have used us when we had production space to produce their independent short films, talk shows, or whatever. So then it's space. Then we also are available for when people just need video support and they need someone to produce a video for them. We've done theater so it's always about the story though. How do we help people tell better stories, or how do we tell better stories? So it's always something associated with that, and then using video and stage as the medium where we do that. So that's, in a nutshell, like there's more to it, but it's in a nutshell what we do. And then Mark Squared came about because we were working with other filmmakers. The first time I ever worked on a project. So we're out in the cold. It's October. It was freezing. And the girl who was producing the show, she was just having so many problems. Like she didn't have cameras. She didn't have a generator. She didn't have any of the resources that she really needed. And I thought to myself, and I started talking to Dre, and I was like, why is it so hard? Like when people are passion driven, like because you're not making a bunch of money.
Right.
You just want to tell the story. So when people are passion driven, why is it so hard for them to do what they need to do in this medium? So we said, okay, let's do Mark Squared. And so but it wasn't Mark Squared named yet. So I was like, okay, this is the idea. Let's do it. And then I said, well, we have to name it. We have to name it. What are we going to name it? And so it was given to me. Like literally, I was like in the shower, taking a shower, like we all get our bright ideas. And literally it came to me that I had kept hearing this story, Mark 2, 1 through 12.
Oh, wow.
So in Mark 2, 1 through 12 is really about when Jesus comes to to town.
Okay.
I can never say the word properly. But he comes to town and they say, okay, you're here. The people need to see you. They need to hear you. They need to speak to you. They need to know who you are. And so they have an event and he's there and he's speaking, but it's packed. So meanwhile, there's these 4 friends, and they have a friend who's paralyzed. And they're like, you probably know the story. We all know it. They're like, you have to see him. He will change your life. You need to see this person. And so he was like, all right, because he was depressed. He was paralyzed. He couldn't do what he was accustomed to doing. But they said, no, they were his friends. They loved him. They cared about him. They were like, we're going to do this. We're going to take you here. And so they get to the house. It's packed. Can't get through the door, can't get through the window. And they were like, no, this is too important. You are too important, and he'll change you. And so they go to the roof, and they cut a hole in the roof, and they lower him down, And so you know the story, but I have to tell the story so people know. And so Jesus looks at him, and he says, oh, you're forgiven. And so, and then, the naysayers look, and they're like, we can't see forgiveness.
Right.
And so Jesus was like, okay, I'll do you one better. Get up and walk and then go tell people about me. And so, of course, he gets up, he walks, and of course, he celebrates Jesus. But for me, it was really about what we can do when we have faith.
Right.
When we come together, when we're willing to work together, how things can change. And so we don't, we're not typical. We don't go through the front door. We don't do everything as people say you should do it. We do it in a way that works for us. We might break or bend. We don't break them, but we might bend some rules. But we get it done. Yes. And we do it with as much excellence as we can.
That you do.
But we take that as our message. Like we're faithful. We work with people who are faithful, and not just faithful in the terms of religion, but faithful and passionate about what they do. Right. And so that's where Mark Square came from. So Mark 2, and then it was 1 through 12. So I was like, Mark 2, I want to call it Mark 2. So then it became Mark Square.
I never knew the story. Never.
It's like a long story, but it's like literally.
But it's worth hearing.
It has so much meaning for me. Like it really. I was like, this is it. This is the name in that. That's what it is. And so and
it's funny because when I first came around, I thought Dre's name was Mark.
And that's literally, someone even just sent me a note the other day. They said, is your husband's name Mark? And I'm like, no. And Dre would get a little irritated about it, tell the truth in the past. He was like, I'm not Mark, I'm Dre. I'm like, but they think you're Mark because they don't think I'm Mark, of course, because I'm a girl. So they're not going to look at me and say, well, who is she? Mark? Marcretia? What? And that's what most people think. Oh, it must be someone's name.
So you all have been in business since how long?
Officially February 2011. So we'll be 11 years. 10 years. We'll be 11 years in February 2022.
And so you are a husband and wife duo. And wife, yeah. What is that journey like? What is it like working with your soulmate? Because I choked mine, but tell me your story.
I mean, of course, you've been amongst us, so you know what the dynamics
That's
are.
Comedy. That's comedy.
It's pure comedy. I always tell people, if we had recorded day one, we'd be rich. Like, truly, we could say we're rich now, but we would truly be financially wealthy because it was a reality show in itself. But it's great. It's really exciting for us. We are very well matched. Yes. And I didn't know that this was like when I met Dre, my life was so different then from what it is now. So if anyone had said, oh, this would be your life, you would be self-employed, you'd be working with your husband, all of this, I would never. I was like, you crazy. I'm going in that corporate office, I'm going to do my thing, and that's going to be it. But because Dre came on, when he came into my life, he was like, you got all these ideas, you got all this stuff written down, you always thinking, but you're not executing. So he became the executor. He became that catalyst that I needed to say, hey, let's keep moving. You can do this. He's like, I always believe you can do what you say you want to do. So let's do it. Yeah. So that part of it has been what makes us work. Like I'm left-handed, he's right-handed. Wow. We say to each other, he's my right hand, I'm his left. So it's like we truly are just like hand in hand. We just make it work. Yeah.
And it really does work. It's like I said, most of the time it's comedy. But you all end up on the same line and same thought, and I just enjoy working with you. I really consider you guys more than just people who are helping my dream be realized, but you guys have become family and have always been friends. Yeah. And so it's just an honor to be able to work with you and even to interview you. My first time interviewing you.
I'm so excited. I love it. Yeah, I get it. No, and that, but that's part of who we are. Like people say, well, you're in Atlanta, but why aren't you doing this stuff? Or why aren't you bigger? Or why aren't you whatever? But really, when you think about purpose, like, and I would say this, I didn't know what my purpose was until we started this. And our purpose is to help, everyday people. Our purpose is to help the independent. Dre used to call them, we're temporary vessels. You pass through here. We're going to do all we can to make you great at this moment so you can go be better in the next. So we want people to come in and be part of us because that's the only way for us to be really effective.
Right. I want to expound on that thought you just had when we come back from the break. But we're going to take a really quick break, guys. We're going to be right back after this short break.
Hey everybody, I'm Stephen Gibbs, owner and operator of Gibbs Enterprise. We do home improvement, home repairs, deck rebuilding, deck construction, plumbing, and carpentry. You need it, we can do it. Just give us a call. Interior painting, exterior painting, pressure washing, drywall repair. You need it, we can do it. Demo work, you need it, we got it. Call us up at 770-713-2059. We do great work for great prices.
Hi guys, it's Dr. Cassandra Parks Evans, affectionately known as Dr. Sand, and this is your segment of Let's Learn Love. Hi guys, it's Dr. Cassandra Parks Evans, and this is your Let's Learn Love segment for today. We're talking about meditation. Meditation can be very therapeutic and very beneficial to you. It helps center and calm you, and that is much needed in the times of chaos today. So I'm going to give you a couple of simple tips that you can start with simple meditation and to be able to center yourself. When we think about meditation, what is the first thing we think of? We think of peacefulness. So we want something that's going to be peaceful to our eyes, something that is calming. So we're looking for blues, we're looking for greens, something that's going to center us. When it comes to auditory, we need something peaceful that is quiet. So we can be alone with our thoughts, and we can also think about our breathing. Because breathing is an important part of meditation as well. We want to do it calmly. We want to do it smoothly. So when we put all those together, hopefully you'll get a meditation place that is good and natural for you. Let me know what you think about that. What is your meditation practices that you may have? So get in touch with me, contact me, and until then, love and blessings.
Hey guys, this is Trish Standley. Catch up on season 1 of Style with Trish by going to TryshStandley.com. If you are not able to catch the show on YouTube, make sure you go to my website, TryshStandley.com, and check out our podcast. This is a place where the everyday woman reigns. TryshStandley.com. You had mentioned the previous segments about being a vessel that is traveled through. People have different levels of success. Some have the level that I want to be the next Tyler Perry, that type thing. But that may not be everyone's level of success. Right. What would you say is the level of success for Mark Squared Studios?
It's long term?
Long term.
Yeah, I don't want to be Tyler Perry, but I want to be able to have a campus where we can accommodate the people that come to us to help us for us to help them produce. So I do want to grow into something else, but being able to serve the same people. Right. And so that's where the complications come in. Because sometimes when you're serving independence, one of the things, not everybody, but many people are like at that point where they're really making, and I hate the word sacrifice, I said sacrifices for suckers, but they are making adjustments in order to be able to do what they're doing. And so because we know that someone's saying to themselves, I believe in this so passionately that I'm willing to put this aside in order to do this. So we want to be able to serve that person, but we want to be able to serve them even more widely. We want to be able to offer them more services and what have you. So ultimately, I want to be able to do that. And I want to do it in such a way that's not just a for-profit type of organization. I want it to be something that we can just truly be able to pour into other people and say, hey, this is the platform. We can help you. And then we'll all be able to be sustainable. So I guess that is kind of like Tyler Perry. Now that I think because that's his model, he produces and he makes enough profit so that he can keep it going. But the thing for us is that we just want to be able to do it in such a way that it's the little person. It's not just about being able to produce on the big screen. Right. It's about being able to make sure you're telling excellent stories in an excellent way. So So yeah, I think that would be the ultimate success. But every time I'm on set with anybody, I feel like that's the beauty of what we do.
Right.
It's like instant gratification. Like when we leave, we know we've accomplished something in that day. So every day is successful.
Yeah. Yeah. And I agree, because I feel and I find that you guys are successful. I mean, but that's looking on from the outside in.
Right.
So speaking on the inside, what would you say would be the biggest, and I don't like the word struggle, challenge that it has been in being able to sustain, especially in this city,
Right.
In this particular field?
Challenge is probably that it's so competitive here.
Okay.
There's a lot of people doing what we do.
But the quality, they don't have the same quality.
Have the quality. Yeah.
They don't have the same quality.
But getting the word out. So here, one of the things, like I always say, like I need to be a better networker. And people always like, you don't network? I don't. I'm introverted. Dre is kind of Dre, you know? And so, and also when you work in your business, it's hard to, and it's a cliche, but it's true. It's hard to work on your business. So we are physically a part of our business every day. So the biggest challenge for us is being able to get out and branch out enough so that people know that we're here and that we're going to support them, and we're very sincere about that. How do we let you know that? How do we show more people that? And it's crazy because we do marketing, but marketing for other people is different from marketing for yourself. Yeah, because we're always like, we got to do this, we have to do that to get the word out, but we're working, so getting the word out on what we do is a little bit harder. Yeah.
And I personally can attest to that. It's hard for me to sell myself. I really struggle with that. But I'm growing, just like you're growing, and we're gonna get there.
I mean, and it's interesting. It is hard to sell yourself because we're probably like, if you're like me, I'm like, I can show you better. I can tell.
Right.
Okay, look, this is what we have. I don't need to tell you. I don't need to convince you. You should just be able to make that connection. But I did learn in therapy that everybody doesn't know what I know.
I know that's right. Now, speaking of, selling, what is some of the strongest traits? I won't say traits, skills, knowledges did you take from when you transferred from corporate America into running your own business? Because you made that transition as well.
Yeah, I did. I called it going from corporate to creative. I had a big old party.
Oh, wow.
I did. I had a big party. I celebrated and I gave it a name, corporate to creative.
That is cool.
Yeah. And so for me, I actually took away most of the skills that I learned, which was the best part about it. Even for me, I was in proposals, marketing, and sales. Even though the sales part is not my strong, but marketing, proposal, all of the writing and the copywriting and the development and project management. And, when you develop proposals, you're taking it from a piece of paper into a finished product and, all of those things. So all of that stuff I used, when we came into this business. I'm also the child of an entrepreneur.
Oh, okay.
So my mother never worked for anyone else.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But that's an interesting story, too, because when I told her I was going to work for myself, she freaked out. When I said, Ma, I think I'm going to leave. I think I'm going to quit my job. You going to what? Quit your job? What? You have a good job, girl. What do you mean you going to quit? And I was so angry. I know I just got off. No, I was so angry with her. I could say that. I was angry. Because I was like, what do you mean? You've never, you have literally never worked for another person in your life. And it's completely self-made, there.
Yes.
Really made, right? So why are you having a fit? Then I thought about it as time goes on. Entrepreneurship is not easy.
Yeah.
So I think to myself now, as a parent, she was like, girl, you crazy. This, you don't know what you're about to get into. You don't know that, there are going to be days when there's no money in the bank. Right. You don't know that, you're always going to be on a hustle. You don't know that it's going to be long days and short money, and you know, and that you're going to have people who are going to push back against you just because. Like when I really started thinking about it, I understood that it wasn't, you know, you can't do it. It's just like that's a difficult life, you know, and it is. But they said I retired when I went corporate to creative. From corporate America, 7 years now.
Oh, wow.
So it's been 7 years now. It hasn't been easy by far, you know, and I started thinking when they say you have to fail for it, and I was like, where have we failed? Well, many times. No, we are like in the midst of, we keep going. But I've had moments when I was in the middle of the floor like, oh God, I give up. I don't want to do this. And they would say, but you said this was your purpose, and so you can't give up.
Right.
You can't. Like, what you going to do, call God and say, no, God, you wrong?
Right. hold that thought. We're going to come back. We're going to take a really quick break. We will be right back.
Welcome to Tryshs Treasures. This is where I share some of my favorite beloved products that I use on myself with you. Next up on Tryshs Treasures, I have a product that I love. It's called Butter. This one is butter for the body, and it's shea butter, and I love it. They actually have a full line. This is for the body, this is for the face. Both are made with shea butter. And I also have the shower gel as well as the bar soap. And it leaves it, first of all, the smell is amazing, but it leaves your skin feeling really, really soft. If you have issues with your skin, such as I do, these products are excellent for you. And I would use them until you, it may take a little while for you to see a difference, but you will soon see a difference. But this is butter for the body, Buddy Facial, and they have a whole collection. One of my favorites. You will love this product. It is a Tryshs treasure.
Dynamic and affordable, we provide web and TV commercial advertisements for your company's products and services. Mark Squared Studios, Atlanta's online video production service. Whether it's an in-studio production shoot or on-location shoot, we produce high-quality web videos for your company's products and services. From professional interviews, step-by-step instructionals, and how-to web series. Broadcast quality at a fraction of the cost. Dynamic and affordable production packages are available now online. Contact us today. Mark Squared Studios.
Welcome back to Style with Trish. We're continuing our conversation with Karlotta. I kind of wanted to touch on when you said that your mother kind of panicked because you were going to go, from corporate to creative?
To creative, yeah.
How did that deter you, or did that make you nervous? Did you have second thoughts? How did you handle that?
No, I was ready.
Okay.
So that was it. I was ready. When we started Mark Square, Dre went in full time immediately because he had worked for Kodak, and it was during the time when they laid off the whole company.
Oh, wow.
You know, and so when he started working in Mark Square, he just went full time. So that was that. And then, so with me, I continued my job, you know, and and so when we first started, I said to myself, going to my corporate job was like having investors. So I would call them my primary investors.
That's how I look at it.
and people would call, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm in a meeting with my investors. I was at work, you know. So it came a point where I was having a review, and my manager knew I had a company, my own business.
Oh, really?
And well, that's a whole nother story. But when she knew, and they said something to me about, they asked me some questions, you know, oh, okay, things are going well here, but are you still running that thing you're doing with your husband? And I was like, yeah, we are. We do this. And I just, you know, lit up. And she says, you don't have that same reaction when you talk about this. I was like, you know what? You're right. I gave her my 2 weeks notice.
Wow.
And then she was like, we didn't expect that. I was like, but you know, because and the ironic thing about it was I had just made this plan. I had a year plan. It was like in August. So I said, the next July I was going to quit. So I had this plan. I said, in July I'm going to quit. You know, I'm going to just, you know, leave this job. I'm going to do all these things between now and then. So it was almost a year that I had in my plan. But after we had that conversation, I was like, I'm not waiting. So I was ready.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter what anybody said to me. It wasn't important anymore. What was important was that I wanted to be in my business full time. And the thing about it too was you can't serve two masters.
Right.
You know, so when I thought about it, I was doing their work and I was doing our work. And nothing suffered, but nothing was as great as it could be. You know, and so I was like, you know what? No, you're right. I'm not excited about being here. I don't want to be here. So I left. And, you know, like I said, it's been challenging, but it's been great.
Yes.
Like I wouldn't trade it for anything. Like I have a good time. I enjoy what I do. It's very, very diverse. We do something different all the time.
Yes, you do.
We build sets. We, you know, we produce shows. We shoot videos. We do marketing. We do all of the things that we're good at and we enjoy doing. You know, so yeah, it's okay. Yeah, and that's part of it. You know, when you become an entrepreneur, or even if you're not, you know, when you sing, perform, you're an artist, whatever it is that you're doing, people are going to look at you and say, why are you doing that?
Right.
Why all that money you spending? Why are you spending that money? What's it gonna net you? But does it make you feel good?
Makes you feel great when you live in your passion.
Right. You know, is that it? And so when I can say that, I'm good. So yeah, you can't talk me out of it now.
Right, right. Because it's so many people that's their only hindrance is that they're worried about what somebody else thinks. And the only time I feel you should worry about what somebody thinks is if it's your spouse. But other than that, and then still sometimes you have to consider. Depending on the urging of your heart. You all are also a creator. You've done plays. You've done quite a bit of things. Share some of that with us.
Plays, so that's my personal projects. So we have Orange Box Theater. That's the production company for the theater. And so the premise for Orange Box is to diversify plays. So one of the things we do is we take traditional plays, white plays, and we put diversify by putting all black people in, you know, which changes the dynamic of the story. So, you know, plays are written and there's the same words over and over, but the beauty of theater is that your director and the actors infuse something else in it. So we did a play called Noises Off, which is a play within a play. And usually, like, it's this wealthy white couple, and they have this crazy housekeeper, and, you know, they're going through the dynamics of being on stage. And so when we put, you know, all black cast in it, it changes because it also it changes in the way that when you perceive, like, it was two of the characters were famous playwrights. Well, you see this black couple who are the famous playwrights. So then that kind of lets someone know that that's a possibility for me too. You know, things like that. It's subtle, but it's important because, you know, we talk about representation, so that's how we represent. And then in Orange Box, I also do traditional African-American plays. So we've done Pearly, which is a big musical. We've done The Colored Museum, which is satire about Black America in the 60s and 70s. And only to find out that it's still the same in the 2020s. You know, so yeah, I love the theater. I love theater more than film.
Okay.
Even though it's harder work and it takes a lot more to do it, but the storytelling is different because it's in the moment, you know, and you get that reception. And I'm never in front of anything. I'm not on the stage or anything, but just knowing that we're able to produce those things and get that content and and share it with people. And again, like I said at the top, it's all about the storytelling, you know, and being able to tell stories in such a way that they impact people and it helps them to, you know, see themselves in a different way, or it helps them to believe in themselves, or, you know, so it's always about the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a few minutes left, and I want to ask your take on how would you advise Karlotta and Dre 10 years ago?
Whew.
What advice would you give them?
Just keep moving. Like you can't be afraid to move. Like I say, God, move and God moves with you. So my advice today is the same. Then would be the same as it is today. Move and God will move with you. As long as we're active, as long as we're thinking, we are forever students. We're both always learning and perfecting our craft. So that's something we have. We weren't afraid then. You know, we didn't let things stop us. So I think, but it's just keep moving. Like don't be afraid to just keep dreaming that dream. Yeah. So that would be it.
Well, thank you for coming. You know, this is very special. This is a special season for me.
Season 2, yay!
Right. I'm getting all the greats. But thank you for sitting down and chatting with me and sharing with the world who you are, and they're going to see what you do for me. So thank you for coming and sitting down.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we will be right back after this break.
Dynamic and affordable, we provide web and TV commercial advertisements for your company's products and services. Mark Squared Studios, Atlanta's online video production service. Whether it's an in-studio production shoot or on-location shoot, we produce high-quality web videos for your company's products and services. From professional interviews, step-by-step instructionals, and how-to web series. Broadcast quality at a fraction of the cost. Dynamic and affordable production packages are available now online. Contact us today. Mark Squared Studios.
Hey guys, this is Trish Standley. Catch up on season 1 of Style with Trish by going to TryshStandley.com. If you are not able to catch the show on YouTube, make sure you go to my website, TryshStandley.com, and check out our podcast. This is a place where the everyday woman reigns. TryshStandley.com. I'd like to thank my guest today, Karlotta Washington, the co-owner of Mark Squared Studios. Be sure to check them out if you have any content that you would like to get before the camera, such as Style with Trish. Make sure you connect with them. One of the things that I love that Karlotta said and she shared is that she lived her dream. She knew when it was time, and no one else could convince her that it was time for her to walk out on her own and pursue her dream. And so let's be examples of those in our lives to where we're confident and we're going to do and make the decisions that's in our heart to do. And remember, as always, love isn't love unless you give it away.